UFC Fight Night Nashville, Derrick Lewis versus Tallison Teixeira just ended. And this is going to be my full card post-fight. I'm being held here against my will, forced to cover UFC Fight Nights. And honestly, this could be my last one, boys. If you were there for my live stream, you know I might have to pack it in after this one. Okay? Another fight night. This one wasn't bad in terms of excitement. The card itself wasn't the greatest card ever. I did get one of the greatest picks of all time on this card, but we'll get to that. I'm just going to come right out and say it. We'll cover it in a little bit. The Derrick Lewis Tallison Teixeira stoppage was one of the worst stoppages I've ever seen in my entire life. And because people like Derrick Lewis, they're acting like it was okay. And they're saying the dumbest shit ever. Man, the fence grab, man. He deserved to be stopped. We're going to get to it. Because that is one of the dumbest narratives I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay? But overall, there were some finishes. There were some submissions. There were some KOs. There were some women's MMA finishes. And we're going to break it all down this video, which may very well be my last video. Because of the way the UFC acted tonight. Because of the way the commentary was tonight. Because of the broadcast tonight. Quite frankly, I'm so sick and tired of it. It has me to a level of disgust. I truly cannot communicate with you guys right now. I went to bed. I laid down. I thought about just not doing anything. No video, no post-fight. And then I said, you know what? I just got to go do it. I mean, I'll feel better after this. Because I'm really annoyed with the sport as a whole right now. But anyway, let's stop. Let's stop with the preamble. Let's get into the people's main event. Fatima, Kline, Melissa Martinez. She got a performance bonus because she got a third round head kick KO. Won the entirety of the fight. Was out striking her. Mixed it up in the clinch a little bit. Third round, she pumps a jab. She feints a left hand. And then she throws a head kick. Drops her. Finishes her. Look, I'm going to be honest. There's too many people, especially on the commentary team, that try to act like too smart when they're like analyzing MMA fights and try to act like, oh man, I know everything about everything MMA related. I'm so hardcore and I'm such an elite, mastermind student of the game. And they're like, man, they're talking about the way Kline pumped the jab and then feinted the left and landed the head kick. Let's just be real. I don't know if anybody else in the entire MMA community is going to say this. Melissa Martinez is dog shit. She didn't react to any of that stuff anyway. She's just shit. She was sloppily throwing back shots and got clipped with a head kick. That's it. That's it. And while it was a beautiful combination that Fatima Kline did, I mean, she pumped the jab, she landed it, she feinted the left. The left had nothing to do with it. They're like, man, Leon Edwards-esque. Leon Edwards-esque, man. Okay, maybe you want to say the jab blinded her to the head kick. No, she was just slopping back with her shit striking. And Fatima Kline said, boink! And then slumped her, basically. So, Fatima Kline gets it done in the first fight on the card. And gets a performance bonus. So, shout out to her. Next fight on the card. We have Mitch Ramirez versus Mike Davis. And why is the UFC website? Why? Well, it should be up a little bit higher. Mike Davis gets it done via second round KO. Exactly how I predicted. Okay. First round, Mitch Davis starts slamming some leg kicks. Mike Davis then ducks under a shot, gets a body lock from the back, picks him up, big slam, takes his back, starts looking for the rear naked choke, starts wrenching a rear naked choke. Looks like he's going to get it. He's not able to get it. Spends the rest of the first round chasing a rear naked choke, getting close on multiple occasions, even at the end of the round. It's looking tight. Mitch Ramirez is just biting down on his mouthpiece and surviving. Second round, Mike Davis comes out and looks like absolute dog shit. Looks like he's completely gassed. He's getting tagged by Mitch Ramirez. I mean, Mitch Ramirez landed there was a sequence where he like clinched up with Mike Davis, landed a nasty knee to the body, and then started landing some good combinations, just touching up Mike Davis. And Mike Davis started to look really tired, and I was like, oh no. Mike Davis is about to lose this fight. And then somehow he started coming back. He started countering. He started ripping to the body. There was a moment where he was ripping to the body. I think he ripped with a left hand maybe. I'm trying to think. There was a moment where he was ripping to the body and then throwing upstairs. It was a beautiful combination. There was one where he ripped to the body, ripped upstairs, then ripped an uppercut right afterwards, and landed like the same combination like 2-3 times in a row. And that's when he really started to get the momentum back. And it seemed like Mitch Ramirez, I guess because of high output in the second round, started to get tired himself a little bit. Then Mike Davis throws a jumping knee that really doesn't even land. Initially, I thought it rocked Mitch Ramirez, and maybe Davis thought it did as well, and maybe it landed flusher than I actually thought. And then he starts swinging wildly for the fences, clips Mitch Ramirez. I said Rich Ramirez. Clips Mitch Ramirez, and basically slumps him out. Drops him bad, finishes him off, and Mike Davis gets a win. I'm going to be honest, though. Like, I'm really tired of people overhyping people. Like, don't get me wrong. Mike Davis isn't like a bum by any means. He's not bottom of the barrel. He's a decent fighter. He is like what entry-level UFC fighter used to mean back in like 2015, 2016. Now we have straight-up scrubs in the UFC, so it's really hard to differentiate skill levels at this point. But like Larasenko on commentary is acting like he's championship material because he finished Mitch Ramirez in a round that he was losing up until that point. It was a good finish. The optics weren't looking good for him. He went out there, got the finish. It was a pretty impressive finish. But like let's calm down a bit. Let's calm down a bit. But he gets it done over Mitch Ramirez. Great win for Mike Davis. Next fight on the card. Performance of the night. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Valter Walker. Who told you guys? Who told you guys? I don't care if I got every fight wrong on this entire card, which I didn't. I said Valter Walker first round heel hook. I said Valter Walker first round heel hook. And you guys are there's probably going to be some naysayers out there that are like, Joey, he heel hooked in his last 2 fights, man. It wasn't that great of a prediction. If he heel hooked in his last 2 fights, it's like Russian roulette. Okay? Not Russian roulette. It's like the roulette table. You hit red a couple times in a row, you're going to probably bet black. You're like, oh, it's going to be black next. The laws of percentages. I told you guys. Valter Walker in shape, another heel hook. Smashes Nzechukwu with a right hand. Walks him down, chases him down. Starts swarming up against the fence. It almost reminded me, very odd comparison, of Kelvin Gastelum, Adesanya, but it worked out for Walker, where he was tagging him up against the fence and then shot it on a double leg. You guys remember that Gastelum Adesanya in the 5th round? I believe it was 5th round, yeah, where Gastelum had him hurt and then shot on a double leg. I think it was the 5th round. I might be wrong on that. But it kind of reminded me of that, like Walker was beating him up against the fence and shoots on the double leg. Doesn't get the double leg, but gets his back. Then decides to roll for a heel hook. Locks it up immediately like that. And then Nzechukwu taps out. Valter Walker is a legitimate contender in the heavyweight division. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy to say. I told you guys. Him in shape. Him taking his career serious. He's a legit contender. Nzechukwu got by beating up tubby heavyweights that are dog shit. That I would destroy in under 30 seconds myself. Nzechukwu had no chance. Absolutely no chance. Valter Walker with 3 heel hooks in a row. I mean, that's insane. That's unheard of. I'm trying to remember who all heel hooked. I mean, Dontel Mays, Junior Tafa, and now Kennedy Nzechukwu. Dude lost to Lucas Dresky, I think is how you pronounce his name. Valter Walker's legit, man. I think he beats Tom Stop. I think he heel hooks Tom Aspinall. He'll have Tom Aspinall looking like he did after he fought Curtis Blades the first time. Grabbing at his knee. Okay, but either way, man. Valter Walker's legit. Heavyweight's dog shit. We need some contenders. 3 heel hooks in a row. He's got a gimmick now, man. People are going to be talking about it the next fight. People are going to be like, man, I got 10 units on Valter Walker by heel hook, bro. Bro, I'm a hardcore, bro. I'm betting on Valter Walker heel hook, man. I told you guys first round heel hook. And what was, hold on, let me see something real quick. Damn, that's even better. 70% was taken in Nzechukwu. That makes it even sweeter, boys. So, yeah, Valter Walker gets it done. Next fight on the card. Lauren Murphy versus Eduarda Moura. Lauren Murphy versus Eduarda Moura. Does anyone really give a fuck about this fight? Being dead serious. I mean, Laura Murphy retired. Probably see her outside a gas station asking for cigs soon. She almost got a guillotine in the 3rd round. She almost got a guillotine. She got Moura down. Almost latched up a guillotine. Wasn't able to quite get her legs wrapped around Moura in full mount, in full guard. And Moura was able to escape and almost got another guillotine, but then she survived. I think Murphy won the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. But prior to that, Moura was out striking her, out grappling her. I think she pretty much out grappled her the entirety of the 1st round. But does anyone really care? Murphy retires. She's 350 years old. What do you guys want me to say about this? Don't care. moving on. Next fight. Jake Matthews versus Chidi Njokuani. And we did have a lot of quick finishes tonight. You know what's really shitty about this card? And I kind of get it to a certain extent, so I guess the UFC gets a bit of a pass. But, man, the commercials were unbearable. Half the time it's just a waiting screen, but they were going like 5-minute commercials because fights were ending soon. Anyway, Jake Matthews, Chidi Njokuani. Jake Matthews gets a first round rear naked choke. It was essentially, I don't even remember. I think Jake Matthews landed like a right hand, and then they were in close, and he tripped Chidi Njokuani down, jumped on his back, started locking up a rear naked choke. Chidi Njokuani tried to shake him off, wasn't able to shake him off, stood up, wasn't able to get him off, was trying to like scrape him off. Jake Matthews only had, I think, one hook in, and eventually Chidi Njokuani tapped. It was too much for him. That's really it. There's really not much more to say. Senka was doing this. I know I'm like bitching about the commentary on every fight, but Senka was doing this annoying thing tonight where she was like, man, I got a chip on my shoulder. I know what I'm talking about. She kept calling rear naked chokes like a short choke. And apparently that's what they call palm-to-palm rear naked chokes. But, yeah. So, we get a rear naked choke from Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews is so hit or miss. Sometimes he looks like an absolute world beater. Other times he looks like a complete and utter bum. Tonight he looked like a world beater. I mean, it was an amazing performance. Tripped him down, snatched up the neck. Easy work for Jake Matthews against Chidi Njokuani, who's not an easy guy to go out there and finish that quickly, especially. So, good win from Jake Matthews. Next fight on the card, featured prelim, we have Max Griffin versus Chris Curtis. Somehow this was a split decision. I have no idea how this was a split decision. Early in the first round, Chris Curtis got kicked in the groin. Then there was a head clash where he got cut pretty badly on the eyebrow. Basically, it was Curtis walking Griffin down. I mean, that was the entirety of the fight. But the first round was Curtis walking Griffin down but not landing a whole lot. I thought Curtis won the first round. And then the second and third were just more of the same. Like, maybe you could give the first round to Griffin. I don't know what the scorecards were. But somehow one judge gave it to Griffin. Griffin ran the entirety of the fight. The entirety of the fight. Curtis was ripping the body. He landed a couple big shots throughout. He just really could never get it going because Griffin, constant lateral movement. Griffin had some moments, but it seemed like he started to get tired like midway through the second round and then just didn't fight anymore after that. He really had nothing to offer. I'm going to be honest, this was a super underwhelming fight all the way around. Max Griffin needs to retire. He needs to retire. He just looks slow, sluggish, unwilling to exchange, super NPC-like. Like, I feel like if you put two NPCs against each other in a UFC game and like low-level fighters, this is exactly what Max Griffin is. So, Curtis's boxing looked good. It seems like he constantly has bad luck in every single fight. I mean, there was multiple head clashes. There was a nasty groin shot in the first round. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of this fight. It was an underwhelming performance all the way around. I know people say I'm biased for Chris Curtis. It was mainly Griffin's fault. I mean, Curtis was walking him down trying to fight, and Griffin was refusing to fight. Curtis did have some excellent body work throughout the fight. That was pretty good. But this fight was really just, it was all the same. And it was just kind of really not really enjoyable to watch. So Chris Curtis gets it done. Split decision. Horrible split decision. Atrocious decision. I don't know what the judges are doing. All right, first fight on the main card. Junior Tafa versus Tokkos. Tokkos wins via second round arm triangle. First round, Tafa landed some shots. Tokkos immediately shoots on a takedown. Tafa kind of defends, is landed some elbows to the side of the head. Eventually gets taken down, back up, some more elbows, taken down again. Eventually gets controlled. And just really a pathetic performance from Junior Tafa. Lost all that weight for nothing. Lost 40 pounds, 30 pounds to come back and still look like absolute dog shit. So, first round, you know what's crazy? I actually might even gave in Tafa the first round because at the tail end, so there was moments in the grappling exchanges where it seemed like Tafa could explode out and end up on top because Tuco was getting tired. And he never did it until the last 5 seconds of the first round, exploded out, did some ground and pound. I thought maybe with that ground and pound, the elbows to the side of the head while he's defending the takedowns, he could have won the first round. Not 100% sure. Second round, Tafa comes out. Tuco is exhausted. Starts smashing Tuco on the feet. Eventually gets him down. I think he might have dropped him. I'm not 100% sure. Starts smashing him on the ground with ground and pound. Tuco is on all fours. And then decides to let him up. And then after that, it's all downhill. Tuco throws a flying knee that doesn't land. Immediately into the takedown. And then Tafa has no takedown defense at all. Gets taken down, controlled. It's beat up. There was a moment where he was getting smashed. I think he was like half guard, but Tokkos could have easily took full guard, was just smashing him with ground and pound. He's like, yeah, he's fading B. B, he's fading B. I hate Tokkos, by the way. Anyway, there was a moment where he took his back, looked for a rear naked choke, eventually finds the arm triangle in the second round. I just can't believe these two bums are on the main card. I don't care. It's in an arena, and we're getting Tokkos on the main card. So either way, Tokkos gets it done via second round arm triangle. Get the Tafa brothers out of the UFC. Okay? I don't care that he slimmed down. Him slimming down with his little stupid mustache and his tattoos and, oh, man, he's Australian, man. He's good. He's Australian. No, I don't give a rat's ass. The Tafa brothers suck ass, man. They have no wrestling. They don't train any wrestling. I would mug Junior Tafa. Okay? Just one double leg and he would sit on the ground. Okay? Tokkos sucks. These guys, I know I'm just trash. What am I doing here? Yeah, it wasn't a very pleasant performance for me to watch. Okay? Tokkos gets it done. Moving on. Vitor, speaking of bums, Vitor Petrino versus Austen Lane. Anthony Smith's leftovers went up to heavyweight and dominated. Absolutely dominated. I mean, how insane is that? Anthony Smith beat this dude. He went up to heavyweight and made easy work of this dude in the first round. I flirted with the idea of picking Austen Lane because I didn't want to pick a dude who just lost to Anthony Smith. I flirted with it. I'm damn glad I didn't make that mistake. I would have never lived that one down. But anyway, essentially, Vitor Petrino just shot a takedown. Got him down with ease, right in the full mount. Didn't really do too much. Started looking for an arm triangle. Wasn't able to get it. Decided to posture up. Started throwing some ground and pound shots. Austen Lane finally tries to scramble rather than looking like a fish on his back. And then eventually gives up his back and gets choked out. That's it. Senko's like, oh, man, another short choke. Or whatever the hell she was calling it. Because it was a bomb-to-bomb rear naked choke. Petrino gets it done. How garbage is heavyweight, boys? By the way, why is this on the main card when it should have been Valter Walker? Valter Walker is the real, actual good heavyweight on this card. But yeah, Vitor Petrino gets it done, boys. Austen Lane lost his job. Felt bad for him, man. He's so tall. He's athletic. He's fast. All for nothing. All for nothing. Came to the UFC, got absolutely destroyed. And Petrino, he's just exposing how bad heavyweight is. That's really the gist of it. I mean, dude's losing to Anthony Smith, coming up to heavyweight and getting wins. Probably going to be ranked soon. Wouldn't shock me if he's ranked soon. Vitor Petrino gets it done. Arm triangle. Or was it rear naked choke? Hold on. Yeah, rear naked choke. I'm dumb. What was I thinking of? The Tokkos one, right? It was arm triangle. Yeah. Gets it done. Gets it done. Rear naked choke. Next fight on the card. This was a great fight. This is fight of the night for sure. Nate Landwehr versus Morgan Charrière. Morgan Charrière gets it done via third round KO. First round, Charrière was battering the leg, man. There was like a boil on the side of Nate Landwehr's leg. Landing good shots. Started mixing in the grappling a little bit, but Nate Landwehr was just using the wizard to get up over and over and over again. At the end, Nate Landwehr was able to like sprawl on him for a bit, but really wasn't able to do any damage. Morgan Charrière clearly won the first round. Second round, both guys were landing, but Charrière was getting tired. And Nate Landwehr was really starting to get comfortable in there, was landing good shots and tagging Morgan Charrière. And then at one point, Charrière kicked him in the groin. Nate Landwehr immediately tells the ref, I'm good. And the ref's like, no, you got to stop it. You got to stop it. And Nate Landwehr then turns away to walk away because he's telling him he's got to stop it. I'm tired if you can't tell. And then he turns to Nate Landwehr and says, hey, man, you got to be ready, man. I'm starting it back up. And then starts it back up. Nate Landwehr won the second round. Third round, Charrière caught him with a shot, man. He caught him with a shot early in the second round. Early in the first minute of the second round. Caught him with a shot. I don't even remember if it was a left, it was a right. It was a wild wing shot. Hurt Landwehr. Starts throwing the wildest shots ever. Most of them aren't landing at all. He would have been completely gassed if he didn't finish him. And then I think it was a left hand that just hit Landwehr perfect, and then a right hand right after it and just slumped him down bad, man. It was a brutal, brutal KO, but great fight overall. Great fight. Morgan Charrière is kind of one of those like more technical, kind of flashy guys, and Landwehr is like one of those gritty, like has okay fundamentals. And it's like somebody like Nate Landwehr who's super tough, durable, and gritty and has decent stamina. is the type of guy that can expose a guy like Morgan Charrière, even with a skill gap. And Charrière, it wasn't looking good for him after that second round. I was thinking, you know what, maybe he's going to lose his third round. And had he not found that finish, because he must have threw 30 shots. 27 of them missed. 28 of them missed. And then eventually he was able to slump Nate Landwehr out. Had Nate Landwehr survived that onslaught, then I really do think Morgan Charrière would have gassed out and been finished in that third round by Nate Landwehr. So Morgan Charrière gets it done. Third round, KO, brutal KO. Next fight on the card. Is this co-main? No, this is featured fight. Featured fight on the card. We have Calvin Kattar versus Steve Garcia. Man, this was a sad performance. It really was a sad performance. Calvin Kattar got his ass whooped. This fight right here is exactly what me and Sean Strickland's sparring would look like, and I'm Steve Garcia. This was a beatdown, man. He worked him over, beat him up, landed big shots. He was spamming the same technique multiple times. I think in the first round, threw 3 straight teep kicks, threw 4 straight oblique kicks, was tagging him on the feet, landed a hard leg kick in the first round as well, busted him up, bloodied him up in the first round. And Kattar had no output, man. He really just had no output. He just looked like he was getting bullied in there. I wanted to jump in there and be like, leave him alone, man. What did he do to you, Steve? What did he do to you, Steve? Leave him alone. That's how bad this was, man. Kattar's done. He's almost 40 years old, and Steve Garcia whooped him from start to finish. Second round, Kattar landed like 2 big right hands, and Steve Garcia just stared at him and continued to walk him down. Landed big shots right back, walking him down, ripping to the body with combinations, just wrecking Kattar. And I knew Kattar was defeated after he landed those right hands, and then Steve Garcia just stared back at him and walked him down and ripped to the body. Third round, I mean, I think Kattar in the third round is when Kattar got dropped with a punch, but was able to survive and just got dominated the entire round. Had a little bit of an onslaught, had a little bit of an effort like towards the last 30 seconds. But man, I mean, this was an ass whooping. What am I supposed to say? It's sad. Calvin Kattar at one point was a top guy. Now Steve Garcia whooped his ass for 3 straight rounds. Kattar had no variety, couldn't get his jab going, was throwing really no kicks. And Steve Garcia wasn't doing anything super, unique. Just walking him down, beating the shit out of him, kicking him to the body, smashing his legs, beating him up, bloodying him up. And Calvin Kattar had no real output. No real output at all. So Calvin Kattar, probably time to hang it up in my opinion after watching this performance. But Steve Garcia, interesting prospect at featherweight. Legit guy, should be ranked. Won 6 in a row now. Some decent opposition. Can't wait to see where he goes from here, man. I would book him against like Dan Ige if Dan Ige beats Patricio Pitbull next week, I think it is. I think that'd be a great matchup for Steve Garcia. Or even like a Bryce Mitchell matchup. I wouldn't even mind that. So Steve Garcia gets it done in the featured fight via decision. Beat the brakes off of Calvin Kattar. Next fight on the card, Wonder Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. This is going to be controversial. I'm so tired of people like claiming robbery on this fight. It was a clear win for Gabriel Bonfim. Bonfim landing good leg kicks early, multiple takedowns in the first round, got the back, looked for the rear naked choke. Wonder Boy was able to like shake him off. And I think right after that, Bonfim got up, hit him with a big shot right on Wonder Boy's chin and like kind of backed him up a bit. Clear first round for Bonfim. Second round, Bonfim is absolutely dominating him. He's tagging him with big shots. Bonfim got a takedown, wasn't able to do much with it, but was outstriking Wonder Boy. Then checks a kick from Wonder Boy that makes Wonder Boy fall over and his shin just opens wide open. It's just bleeding everywhere. Then Wonder Boy gets up and lands a head kick. Hurts Bonfim. Bonfim doesn't fall. Shoots a desperation takedown. Wonder Boy starts throwing some side elbows to the side of the head. I thought the second round you would give to Wonder Boy, but I thought you could give it to Bonfim. Low-key, I think I could rewatch it and probably score it for Bonfim. He was tagging him out, struck him for 4 minutes. Wonder Boy landed the head kick with like 11 seconds to go. 11 seconds to go. And then he landed a couple elbows afterwards. Didn't even drop him. Bonfim was able to have the wherewithal to shoot the takedown. It wasn't like he was on crazy wobbly legs. He just ate a heavy head kick. So I gave Wonder Boy, in real time, I gave Wonder Boy the second round. I can make a case for Bonfim to get the second round, okay? Third round was a shitty round. Wonder Boy landed 1 head kick. Bonfim landed more shots on the feet overall. And Bonfim was able to control him in the clinch. Even though he was just knee into the body, Wonderboy really wasn't able to get him off of him. And I really think that was the difference in the fight. People are like, man, no, Wonderboy won second and third. It's a robbery. What are these people watching, man? I really don't know what they're watching. I don't know how you give the third round to Wonderboy because of one head kick where Bonfim wasn't rocked, wasn't wobbly, didn't show any bad like body language or anything, and then Wonderboy got controlled the entirety of the round damn near and outstruck. I will never use stats. I will never use stats to justify a decision. And that's why, look at this. Look at this. People are going to be like, yeah, man, Wonderboy clearly won. I don't believe these stats at all. Look at this. Look at it. I don't believe these at all either. I think Bonfim outstruck him in the third round. So, and he got multiple takedowns and had clinch control. It is what it is. I don't know why we got to act just because, oh, we like Wonderboy, man. He's so nice, man. He's such a nice guy, man. Wonderboy won. Bonfim won. And Bonfim didn't impress me at all. And the fact that, like, Wonderboy's, like, being able to get back up with ease against you, never really had him in a super bad position on the ground. Really just was like diving in, getting to the body lock, picking up Wonderboy, dumping him down, and then Wonderboy would get to a knee and get right back up. So I do respect Wonderboy for at least working on that, but I just don't know if Bonfim's the level of wrestler that really gives Wonderboy trouble. I'm tired of this myth that Wonderboy's some elite level striker. I've been saying it for a bit, man. I've really been saying it for a bit. Like, the karate style is just worn out. It's just worn out. Bonfim gets it done. I don't know why people are like, man, brutal robbery, man. Bonfim should have lost. Bonfim essentially, you could score, I would say 30-27 for Bonfim before I gave this fight to Wonderboy. But for some reason, I guess people just pick out who they like. I don't give a fuck about Wonderboy. I don't care about Bonfim. And I guess people like Wonderboy. So they're like, man, he won the fight. And I don't think they like that Bonfim grappled in the third round. You know, it's just like when they tried to give Aldo a win against Mario Batista, even though he lost. Oh, I'm pissing a lot of people off tonight. I may never be back. I don't care. But yeah. Bonfim gets it done. I thought it was a very clear decision win, even though they end up giving a split decision. I don't know how you give Wonderboy Thompson the fight, but a lot of people in my chat were giving Wonderboy the fight. I think it's just absolute delusion, anti-biased against, or anti-grappling bias, and the fact that people like Wonderboy at damn near 45 years old. So I think Bonfim won the fight. Next fight on the card, main event. This main event may be enough for me to quit the channel. The epic rant incoming. Derrick Lewis first round. KO. KO. This was the worst stoppage in the history of the sport. Followed by the UFC trying to gaslight us. I said gaslight us. Gaslight us, right? Damn, what time is it right now? What time is it right now, boy? It's 2:30 a.m., okay? Eastern time. I'm in Alaska. But it's 7 p.m. in Vegas, I believe. Anyway, Derrick Lewis versus Tallison Teixeira was the worst fucking stoppage I have ever seen in the history of the sport. Then the UFC tried to gaslight us into acting like Teixeira was brutally KO'd, out cold, flat down on the canvas. This one might have done it for me. I honestly don't like this. I'm going to have to go sleep on it because maybe I'm just irritable right now. The way they tried to gaslight us afterwards to act like Tallison Teixeira was like face down, KO'd, really rubbed me the wrong way. It made me feel like this sport's completely rigged. And it's an embarrassment, and it's WWE. They showed the wrong replay. They only showed the drop. And they were acting like the drop was the finish, even though it wasn't. So let me explain the fight to you. Tallison Teixeira lands like a jab or like a left hook. I don't even remember at this point. Hits Derrick Lewis right in the eye. Derrick Lewis starts like grabbing his eye. Teixeira starts to get aggressive. Derrick Lewis starts throwing wild winging shots. Teixeira comes in again. Derrick Lewis throws like a wild right hand. Lands a left right on the chin. Puts Teixeira down. Starts swarming him on the ground, throwing ground and pound. Not a whole lot, landing super clean, but some big shots, and Teixeira's definitely hurt. Teixeira then turns, grabs the fence brutally twice, gets up, turns around, starts throwing a punch, and Herzog steps in. Teixeira's literally throwing a punch, and Teixeira staring at Derrick Lewis. And they act like it was a brutal Derrick Lewis KO on commentary. Like, man, that was insane. Derrick Lewis is chalk lining people. That was the opposite of a fucking chalk line. Senko, you bum. She's getting worse with every card. I swear on my life. She's clip farming every single card. And then they proceed to act like it was a brutal KO. And then everyone like defends it. Like, who cares, man? Derrick Lewis won, man. Derrick Lewis, the Derrick Lewis gimmick, to him like taking his pants off and the pissing in the corner and people like, man, I love the character Derrick Lewis. It's old. It's old, and that's irrelevant. But because people like Derrick Lewis, they're acting like this was an okay stoppage. And then you have the fucking bums. I'm going to get this video demonetized. You have the bums like, man, Teixeira grabbed the fence, man. I don't care. He grabbed the fence. If you need to grab the fence, man, you got KO'd. If you want to tell me Herzog stopped the fight and said Teixeira brutally grabbed the fence, he's DQ'd, fair enough. Just because you grab the fence doesn't mean all of a sudden it's a KO stoppage. And to top it all off, then the UFC just proceeds to continue to show Derrick Lewis dropping Teixeira and not the actual finish because they realize the actual finish is bad optics. It doesn't look like a real finish. The commentary team doesn't even acknowledge the finish was bad. The stoppage was bad. Tallison Teixeira immediately protests because he's throwing a punch, staring face to face with Derrick Lewis. And people are justifying it because of a fence grab. If you want to say, okay, Jason Herzog should have took a point, he could take a point. He doesn't even need to stop the fight. You can take a point without stopping the fight. We've seen him do it before. Okay? He could let the sequence play out and then take a point after the round. You can do that. As far as I know, we've seen it recently. I don't remember what fight it was in. It's crazy. And then all of a sudden they start saying, man, heavyweight, man, needs contenders. Derrick Lewis, man. Tom Aspinall, Derrick Lewis, man. That would be interesting. The UFC is becoming WWE. They couldn't even acknowledge on their own broadcast this was one of the worst stoppages ever. And then the fans are acting like it was okay because he grabbed the fence. And if it's okay because he grabbed the fence, go back and watch the replay. First off, when Lewis is swarming him on the ground, none of the shots ever landed like super clean. But when they did, you know where they did land? 2 of them landed dead center of the back of the head. I could make an entire video on it, right? Oh, look, Derrick Lewis punched him dead center of the back of the head. Could this be appealed? So Derrick Lewis fouled him. Derrick Lewis fouled Tallison Teixeira. Does that mean we stop it and call it a KO win for Tallison Teixeira? No, we don't. Tallison Teixeira should never grab the fence. If you want to DQ him for that, that is a different argument. We don't pretend like Mr. Long Torso Tallison Teixeira was brutally unconscious on the ground just because the UFC likes Derrick Lewis because he's a character. And because you guys don't like Tallison Teixeira for whatever reason. I don't give a fuck about Tallison Teixeira. He is standing, throwing a punch at Derrick Lewis. Did not take a whole lot of damage on the ground. Ate 2 shots as he's coming up. I want to be very clear. Ate 2 big shots as he was coming up. They're like, man, he had no idea where he was at. He wasn't even wobbled when he got up. And if someone that's concussed that badly, how do you make the conscious decision to grab the fence? And then people are going to say, well, if he didn't grab the fence, he would have got finished anyway. You don't know that. You quite literally made that up. You don't know that at all. He shouldn't have grabbed the fence, but that does not mean we pretend like this was some brutal KO. And I think it's really because the UFC wanted Derrick Lewis to win because, like, oh, maybe we can book him against Tom Aspinall because heavyweight's so garbage. You guys know I don't care about heavyweight. I don't care about Derrick Lewis winning. I don't care about if Tallison Teixeira won. Don't care about any of it. Heavyweight was ruined when Dana White shat on Francis Ngannou. So we took him to more dinners, man. This is WWE. This is WWE. They pretended like he was at the commentary team, the UFC broadcast. Pretended like Teixeira was face down, ass up, brutally KO'd. When he was staring Derrick. How'd they even call that a KO? How is that even going down in the record books as a KO? This is WWE. And if we can't even acknowledge this was a massive mistake by Jason Herzog, I don't know what we do anymore. When I saw this and the way they were trying to gaslight us, I was like, I don't even want to watch this sport anymore. Because, like, I'm just thinking, imagine, like, I don't care. Like, again, I don't care about the heavyweight division. I know people are going to be like, you don't care, then why are you complaining? This can happen in a fight that matters. Imagine this happens in DDP Khamzat Chimaev for either guy. for either guy. Because I know people are going to be like, Joe, you love Hamzat, blah, blah, blah. Imagine this happened to DDP. He gets stopped this way against Hamzat Chimaev. Imagine Islam gets stopped against JDM in this capacity. Imagine Tom Aspinall gets stopped this way against Cyril Gane. It's a bullshit stoppage. And then the UFC just glosses over it and acts like it's okay. It's horseshit. It's absolute horseshit. And by the way, Derrick Lewis, and the way the UFC's acting like he's a mega star, the UFC's getting really desperate lately. I don't know if it's in the negotiations with the new streaming rights deal or what. They're getting really desperate to act like they have mega stars. And it reminds me almost like, I don't watch the WWE, but I see like every like big WWE event. Oh, they got Dwayne Johnson back. They got The Rock back. Stone Cold showing up for a special appearance. That's what it seems like the UFC's promoting nowadays. They're like, oh man, Derrick Lewis is a fan favorite because he said his balls were hot in 2018. Oh man, he's taking off his pants again. Let's get him on the phone with Donald Trump. Dana White would suck Donald Trump's cock if he asked him. This shit's embarrassing, by the way. Throw that on top of all this. He's like, yeah, man, I called the prez, man, and put him on the phone with Derrick. It's embarrassing. The level of groveling, the level of sycophancy is straight up embarrassing. And now somehow people are going to say, oh, well, that's the only reason you care about the stoppage because Derrick Lewis apparently was talking to the president on the phone. No, I'm just throwing that in there. That's a cherry on the fucking top. It was a bogus stoppage in a heavyweight fight that doesn't matter. It's getting late. It's WWE. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, boys. This may be my retirement here. If I got to be honest, I don't think it will be because I feel an obligation to be one of the people online outspoken against the UFC and a lot of the brain dead MMA community. So I'll be back. But I got to be honest, I could stop making videos for a couple months and just be like, you know what? Screw this sport. But I'm going to go to bed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'll be checking out the comments. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.